Спасибо большое.
Уважаемые дамы и господа, коллеги, друзья, очень рад приветствовать вас.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, I am very glad to welcome you to this wonderful hall of the Bolshoi Theater to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Russia Today channel. Today, congratulations on the anniversary to everyone who has worked and is working on the TV channel. And of course, Margarita Simonyan, your leader and permanent editor-in-chief. Dear Margarita, we all know that everyone in this team knows exactly how difficult it is for you right now and what period of your life and your family you are going through right now. But you always show courage and perseverance at work. I am sure you can handle it now. Thank you. I promise.
Твои друзья, твои коллеги, они всегда были рядом.
Your friends, your colleagues, they have always been there for you and will always be there for you. There have been many events in the media sector over the past 20 years. It's a whole era. And the Russia Today channel has gone from an idea to a global brand that is known all over the world today. I thank your active, creative, close-knit team for their high professionalism, dedication to their profession and duty. For bravely, selflessly, and persistently defending the truth in the global information space. We remember how the leading Western media abused their monopoly position in the early 2000s, and often, or rather almost always, under the guise of objective news, they gave out everything they wanted, trying to impose not just some new rules in the minds and hearts of millions of people, but rather even a new civilizational space based on false moral values. And it still causes outrage when the terrorists who took hostages and organized deadly bombings in our cities, schools, and hospitals were called rebels on the air of well-known Western channels. And they wanted the world to sympathize with these scoundrels and child murderers. At that time, it was difficult for us to defend the truth in information, to defend the true picture of what was happening, because we did not have our own powerful voice outside our country. I would like to emphasize that Russia's sovereignty, for which we have fought, continue to fight, and will always fight, depends, among other things, on our ability to convey objective, unbiased information to people on the planet. That's why RT should have appeared, and that's what happened 20 years ago. The company faced a difficult task to build its work on a qualitatively new level of content and technology. I am sincerely glad that you have succeeded, and it turned out brilliantly. Millions of citizens in different countries believed you. Moreover, it turned out that there is a huge demand for news that differs from the hackneyed propaganda, which today, to be honest, is not much different from the well-known Soviet propaganda cliches in this hall, back in Soviet times. That's how they work. That is why I think real professionals, including from the USA, European countries, and all continents, wanted to cooperate with you. And not just to cooperate, but to work. Not because of the money, of course, but primarily because you have given these people the opportunity to express their position, to convey this position to millions of people. That is why we saw the legendary WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, world television star Larry King, Ecuadorian President Rafael Correa, and many others among the RT hosts. You were rapidly gaining popularity and influence. As a result, your competitors have become jealous of you, and sometimes, in my opinion, they are not just jealous but also afraid. And this is a sure sign that you are working one step ahead, and you are setting the information agenda yourself, doing the necessary, meaningful work. And when you declared yourself in full force, then those very competitors and the so-called ruling elite standing behind them showed their real face. Only Margarita was talking about it now. She regularly tells me about how they tried and are trying to squeeze you at venues abroad. For years, they taught us how to live, how the media should work, how to understand democracy and what democracy is, what true freedom of speech is, convinced of the importance of competition, pluralism of opinions, and so on. But what happened to these mentors when RT appeared and hundreds of millions of people started watching a TV channel offering a new interpretation of events? The reaction of these very elites, which I have already mentioned, was primitive and straightforward: ban, cancel, block. You know, when I was still working as the director of the Federal Security Service in Russia, I was already trying to abolish this style of work even in an agency like the FSB. He said that we need to work more subtly, we need to convince, we need to stop threats by other means, and not by what we used to call grabbing and not letting go during the Soviet Union. Now we see that this is exactly what is happening, unfortunately, in the information sphere with regard to you, your channel. It is very easy to accuse of propaganda and disinformation, of interference in internal affairs, but you didn't impose anything. You just offered an alternative, truthful point of view. And in this way, you defended, among other things, the right to choose your viewers and listeners. But even in the very presence of such a choice, the partners saw a threat to themselves. Over the years of RT's formation, you have sincerely tried to build and have built exactly such partnerships with the audience. And you did it too. But any monopoly must come to an end sooner or later, regardless of how much those who maintain them pay for trying to maintain these monopolies. Today, in an increasingly multipolar world, intolerance of any sovereign and independent thought is not just an anachronism. This is a huge obstacle to the development of mutual understanding and trust between peoples, which is necessary for all of us. And this obstacle, as well as any other obstacles, will certainly be eliminated. It's impossible to do it any other way. For 2 decades now, including thanks to RT, we have been hearing a whole range of voices from all over the world. The people of Asia, Africa, and Latin America are now speaking with your help, without regard to the approval of former colonial powers and former colonial authorities. It is very important that RT provides its platform to journalists, scientists, and experts from all over the world. And most importantly, people of different views, beliefs, and nationalities continue to watch RT and read your social networks, despite bans and technical obstacles. Even representatives of the Western elites themselves admit that the audience of Russia today is larger than that of their own TV channels. Last year alone, the total number of views of the channel's projects on social networks reached almost 24 billion, and the total audience of RT TV channels on pay TV platforms is almost 1 billion viewers. This figure inspires confidence that things will continue to develop in this way. It is clear why. In Europe, the United States, and other countries, citizens strive to preserve national culture, the memory of generations, and resist social inequality, the destruction of the institution of the family, and attacks on the innocence of children. All this is in line with Russia's position on these issues. And thanks in large part to RT, the world has learned that our country firmly defends traditional values and is their bulwark in modern life, full of contradictions, conflicts, and challenges. Moreover, we do not discriminate against anyone. We do not prohibit anything, including in the areas I mentioned. We are just trying to defend our point of view, our view of the modern world and the future. I am sure that this closeness of views helps people on different continents to believe in themselves, in their strengths and capabilities. It is difficult to overestimate the contribution of Russia today to our common struggle to create a more just and sustainable multipolar world order, to preserve civilizational diversity, and to rally an increasing number of countries, peoples around these creative ideas. I want to emphasize that you are doing a difficult, strenuous job on your site and for the future of our people, and for the future of millions of people on the planet who are striving for real, true freedom. Dear friends, journalists, cameramen, and colleagues from other RT media projects are always at the epicenter and at the forefront of events, always at the forefront, literally and figuratively. Fearlessness and commitment to the truth are the main features of the channel's staff. We have seen this in Iraq, Syria, the Middle East as a whole, and other hotspots. And now, in the Special Military Operations Zone, you are continuing this tradition. Risking your life, you talk about the heroism and exploits of soldiers and commanders. There are many examples of people working at RT who are loyal to their profession, devoted to their native country and their beliefs. Because even the foreigners who work for us, citizens of other countries, and there are many of them on the channel, defending their own beliefs, help their country promote these thoughts on the territory of their countries, among their population. They act absolutely honestly and openly. Just now, before coming here to the historical stage of the Bolshoi Theater, we met and talked with your colleagues working in the combat zone and making films about the heroes of the special military operation who are present in this hall. I would ask them to greet you separately. What did you notice? Both the fighters who came from the front line of their military and the journalists who work for the channel, they looked like one family because they are all courageous people, heroic people who fight for their beliefs. This is the value of your work. Dear friends, 20 years is a stage in the long journey of your channel and your wonderful team. The world is changing rapidly. Technology is transforming journalism. Social networks are setting new rhythms, and the audience is increasingly watching news in digital format. You successfully meet these challenges, remain brave, open, and creative. RT has the most important thing: experience, a professional team, and the trust of the audience. RT has a freedom-loving atmosphere, and there are a lot of young people with a future ahead of them. So you certainly have new victories ahead of you. I wish you to continue to develop, to find new formats and new topics in the fierce struggle for the minds and hearts of people. And in order to win this fight, it is necessary to continue using your secret, strategic, high-precision intercontinental range weapon, the truth. The voice of truth, the voice of Russia, must be loud, confident, and convincing. Happy holidays to you. Happy birthday.